Chapter 6. The Coronation. Several days had passed since Monica's return to her kingdom, each one marking the steady close of her former life and the opening of a new chapter. Now, at last, the day of her coronation had dawned. Anticipation hung thick in the air, woven into every street and square as the entire kingdom held its breath. Sir Reginald Thorne, her ever-diligent chief planner, had overseen every detail with meticulous care. Under his watchful guidance, the ceremony was designed not only for the nobles gathered within the castle, but also for the people themselves. This would be a coronation shared by all. The event was to be broadcast throughout the kingdom, a unifying gesture meant to draw every citizen into the moment. Vast screens had been erected beyond the castle walls, ensuring that those unable to attend in person would still bear witness. From market squares to narrow streets, the people would see their queen crowned with their own eyes. High above, an array of automated aerial cameras drifted through the sky like mechanical falcons. Capable of capturing sweeping views and intimate angles alike, they promised a vivid, cinematic account of the ceremony. This remarkable technology had been provided by the enigmatic Lunatic Wisdom Laboratories, a contribution that would ensure Queen Monica's coronation was preserved in striking detail for generations to come. However, security remained paramount. Royal guards were stationed throughout the Grand Hall, their presence unmistakable yet disciplined. Some stood openly along the aisles and balconies, while others were discreetly positioned among the rafters, sealing off any opportunity for intrusion from above. Armed with both swords and firearms, they were prepared to respond swiftly and decisively, trained to neutralize threats with minimal force while maintaining the dignity of the occasion. On this day of celebration and renewal, vigilance and ceremony stood side by side, ensuring that the coronation of Queen Monica would proceed not only in splendor, but in safety, unity, and resolve. Monica cast a cautious glance through the side entrance leading into the Grand Hall. Inside, the noble houses had already taken their seats, the foremost rows reserved for those of the highest standing. Many of the faces were familiar, their presence both comforting and daunting. She spotted Elena and Galen Agaris among them, standing alongside the esteemed Lynn, known throughout the world as the Great Sage Crest. Nearby were members of Lynn's own moon people, their quiet dignity setting them apart. Dr. Nob was there as well, the descendant of the famed Dr. Jamming, accompanied by Osmond. Together, the three represented the innovative minds of Lunar Labs. Though Elder Durack could not attend in person, his rooted existence binding him elsewhere, his presence was still felt. A single Furbit had been sent as his emissary, serving as both eyes and ears, allowing him to witness the ceremony and listen as events unfolded. "It's a full house in there," Monica murmured to herself, astonishment threading through her voice as she took in the scale of it all. She swallowed lightly. "That only makes the nerves worse." Dame Elspeth Shaw stepped closer, her presence calm and reassuring. "Fear not, Your Majesty," she said gently. "So long as you follow the script you have practiced so diligently these past days, everything will proceed flawlessly. You are no stranger to presiding over grand occasions." Monica gave a small, uneasy smile and shook her head. "Those were birthday celebrations," she replied softly. "This is a coronation. It's infinitely more significant and far more daunting." Dame Elspeth's expression brightened, unable to conceal her excitement. Pride gleamed in her eyes as she regarded the Queen's attire. "And yet, a "A coronation brings me immense joy," she said warmly, "for I truly believe the gown I have created for you is worthy of such a defining moment. It may well be my magnum opus." Monica's gown was indeed a triumph of artistry. Woven from fine silk, its colour shifted gracefully from a soft blush at the neckline to a deep, radiant rose at the hem. The fitted bodice flowed seamlessly into a full, sweeping skirt, culminating in a cathedral-length train that trailed behind her, a silent symbol of the path she was about to walk as queen. The off-the-shoulder design lent her an air of elegance and quiet confidence, while sheer bell-shaped cuffs framed her arms with an almost storybook enchantment. In an intricate dance of artistry, threads of gold and silver traced an upward motif across the fabric, weaving a visual narrative of the kingdom's rich natural tapestry. The design spoke of growth, renewal, and abundance, its texture brought vividly to life by a delicate scattering of sequins and beads that lent a quiet, luminous shimmer to her every movement. In keeping with the elegance of restraint, Monica's jewellery was understated yet meaningful. Delicate pink diamond earrings caught the light as they swayed gently, complemented by a slender, refined necklace and a single sapphire ring, symbols of loyalty, wisdom, and steadfast resolve. Her signature long pink hair fell in free-flowing, shimmering waves, styled to capture and reflect even the faintest glimmer of light. Subtle braids were woven through the length and drawn back into a coiffure that balanced classical refinement with a contemporary sensibility. Tiny gemstones, mirroring the stones set within her soon-to-be-worn crown, were nestled among the braids, casting a soft, celestial glow that heightened the vibrancy of her hair. Beneath the sweeping expanse of her gown, custom-made satin slippers, hand-stitched with delicate rose motifs, offered comfort without compromising the splendour of her ensemble. Her makeup was chosen to enhance, rather than overshadow, her natural beauty. A soft pink hue to her lips, a whisper of rose gold warmth upon her cheeks, and a fine sweep of winged eyeliner that framed her eyes with quiet, regal poise. Monica, mindful of her long-standing discomfort with traditional princess dresses, had tempered her expectations for her coronation attire. Yet she held deep respect for Dame Elspeth's unwavering dedication and craftsmanship, and any lingering reservations melted away in the face of such care and artistry. "Once again, you have surpassed my expectations, Dame Elspeth," Monica said warmly. "I look forward to the splendour of your future designs." Dame Elspeth's face lit up with genuine delight. "Thank you, Your Majesty," she replied, bowing slightly. "I shall endeavour to exceed your expectations always." Noticing the subtle cues that the ceremony was about to begin, Tilly stepped closer to Dame Elspeth. "My lady," she said quietly, "it appears the ceremony is about to commence." "In that case," Dame Elspeth replied without hesitation, "Tilly, Lisa, please support the back of Her Majesty's skirt. Ensure she does not stumble, and maintain your hold until she is safely seated upon the throne." "Yes, my lady," the handmaidens answered in unison, their voices filled with reverence as they moved into position. Dame Elspeth then stepped before Monica and gently clasped her hands. Her expression softened, pride and affection shining through. "Good luck, my queen," she said warmly. "May you make your father proud." As the soaring harmonies of the church choir filled the great hall, announcing the beginning of the coronation, every gaze turned towards the entrance. Monica stepped forward. A collective gasp rippled through the assembled nobles, mirroring the awe stirred by the breathtaking intricacy of her gown. Beyond the castle walls, towering screens broadcast her arrival to the gathered crowds. Below, and a hush fell over the kingdom as one. Even those watching from afar stood transfixed, struck silent by the sight of their future queen. Though her nerves churned fiercely within her, Monica drew upon her resolve, lifting her chin and carrying herself with calm authority. She advanced with measured grace, her eyes briefly finding Master Gaius standing faithfully beside the grand throne, then the archbishop who would preside over the sacred rite. Their presence steadied her, anchors in a moment that would define her life forever. Lisa and Tilly supported the train of her gown until Monica reached the throne. Once she was seated, they released the fabric, bowed deeply, and withdrew without a sound. As the archbishop stepped forward, the hall filled with a profound stillness. May the blessings of the divine grace this momentous occasion, the archbishop intoned, their voice resonant and solemn, as we gather in reverence for the ascension of Queen Monica to her rightful place upon the throne. They spoke of ancient traditions, honoured through generations, and called upon the divine to sanctify the ceremony. The authority bestowed upon the Queen, they declared, was not merely of mortal design, but a sacred calling, an instrument of divine providence entrusted to her care. As the anointing began, the archbishop prayed for Monica to be granted the virtues essential to her reign: wisdom to guide her judgment, fortitude to face hardship, and benevolence to rule with compassion. The congregation joined in unified prayer, their hopes and aspirations rising together in the vaulted space above. Lead with a heart full of mercy, the archbishop urged, a mind illuminated by wisdom, and a spirit strengthened by the loyalty and trust of your people. They spoke of new beginnings, of justice restored, harmony renewed, and prosperity nurtured. The coronation, they proclaimed, was not merely an ending of grief, but the dawn of a brighter age. At last, Master Gaius stepped forward, his voice carrying clearly through the hall and beyond. "Monica Raybrandt," he declared, "as Queen of the Realm, do you swear to uphold the oath of sovereignty?" Though her pulse raced and the watchful eyes of both the crowd and the flying cameras bore down upon her, Monica did not falter. She had practiced these words countless times, but now they were no longer rehearsal. She drew in a steady breath. "I, Queen Monica," she began, her voice firm and unwavering, "solemnly swear and pledge my unwavering commitment to serve this realm and its people with honour and devotion. I understand the weight and the privilege of the crown I bear, and I embrace the responsibilities it demands." Her voice gathered strength as she continued. "I swear to uphold justice, safeguarding the rights and liberties of all, regardless of rank or birth. I pledge to foster unity and harmony among the diverse peoples of our kingdom, and to protect and nurture the welfare and prosperity of our land, preserving its sacred resources for generations to come." She spoke of her intention to govern with fairness, wisdom, and foresight. She vowed to lead with compassion, to listen to those whose voices were too often overlooked, and to work tirelessly to ease the suffering of the marginalized and the vulnerable. She affirmed her commitment to education, innovation, and culture, promising to create a kingdom in which every individual might discover and fulfill their potential. Monica further pledged to stand resolute in the face of adversity, to defend the realm's borders, while practicing diplomacy with care and restraint. She vowed to forge alliances both near and far, strengthening bonds of peace, cooperation, and understanding. At last, she concluded her oath, accepting the mantle of queenship fully and without reservation, placing her trust in the duty bestowed upon her and in the guidance of a higher light. "So help me," she said, her words ringing clear through the hall, "by the divine and by the collective will of our kingdom." As her final words faded into silence, the Archbishop lifted the crown with reverent care. Fashioned from platinum and subtly warmed with accents of rose gold, it was designed to complement Monica's radiant hair rather than overshadow it. Rare pink diamonds and pearls were set seamlessly into its ornate structure, symbols of purity, devotion, and grace. The crown's form tapered gently towards the back, lending height and elegance while preserving the balance of her features, a piece crafted not merely for beauty, but for presence. In a voice heavy with sacred authority, the Archbishop declared, "By the power vested in me by the divine spirit, I crown you queen." The crown was lowered onto Monica's head, settling there as more than an ornament. It became a living symbol of trust, responsibility, and sacred obligation. A reminder that her reign was bound not by privilege alone, but by service, wisdom, and compassion. This crown, a masterpiece of both artistry and meaning, would forever signify the union between Monica's noble duty and the faith her people placed in her. It would stand as an enduring emblem of her reign, guiding her as she led the kingdom towards a future shaped by integrity, unity, and hope. A wave of reverence swept through the hall. In unison, the assembled nobles and guests rose to their feet. With deep respect and unwavering loyalty, they bowed before their newly crowned queen and proclaimed as one, "Hail, Queen Monica Raybrandt, long live the Queen! Long live the Queen!" The thunder of voices echoed throughout the chamber, filling the air with devotion and celebration. Yet, beneath the splendor and ceremony, Monica wrestled with a storm of conflicting emotions. Though she sat tall upon the throne, composed, radiant, and regal, fear and uncertainty churned quietly within her. The sheer weight of her responsibilities pressed heavily upon her heart, and doubt whispered of the trials that lay ahead. To her people, she appeared unshakable. But within, the young queen felt the fragile truth of her humanity, vulnerable, apprehensive, and keenly aware that courage did not mean the absence of fear, but the will to move forward despite it. And so, crowned and acclaimed, Monica began her reign not as an unflinching figure of legend, but as a determined young queen, carrying both doubt and hope in equal measure as she stepped into destiny.